Hey guys, and welcome to our social marketing presentation. The campaign we have developed is the Just Fine 5 campaign for physical health and exercise. And this is by Cyril, Charney, Morgan, and myself, Jesse. So before we begin, a bit of background information about what physical health and exercise means and where it comes from. So it's goal 3 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. In particular, it states ensuring healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. In developing the campaign, a few questions we had to ask ourselves is where to begin with such a large goal and who should you be tackling, as well as what does this sustainable development goal actually mean? A few of the benefits of physical health and exercise. So mental health, because you actually get to give your brain a little bit of a break from thinking, and it's more the action of doing. Personal health through the health of your cardiovascular system with your heart and lungs, but also your skeletal structure of bone health. And social health as well. So you'd be surprised you can actually go out and meet new people while exercising and build up a bit of a social environment, which can help you develop all areas of your life. A few statistics on physical health and exercise. Recommended exercise times for children under 17 is average 60 minutes per day, which equates to around 7 hours per week. Adults 18 and over, 30 minutes of day, and this can range depending on the actual strenuous exercise that you may be undertaking, 2.5 to 5 hours a week. An interesting statistic here is actually only 43% of all adults actually manage to achieve this goal. So what are the issues? Why aren't people achieving these goals? Well, there's a couple. For children, there's increased screen time. Children aged 5 to 7 average 136 minutes, so 2 hours and 16 minutes of screen time per day. Whilst adults, the main reason that they are not participating in physical exercise is due to them thinking that they're too busy and that their schedule is actually too packed for them to have the time to partake, which can be as much a mental barrier as a physical barrier. I guess, how do we tackle this issue? So the strongest point that we found was actually developing and targeting a strong target audience. The best target audience should definitely be able to understand and acknowledge the information that you're presenting, be able to recognize the benefits of the situation, as well as be able to further pass on the importance to your peers and their surroundings. Therefore, the best target audience must not only be able to do all of these things, but also be able to influence and inform all of their peers to do so, whether or not they are going to then further on from their own action, but it's better than them taking inaction.
The purpose of our campaign, Just Find 5, is to decrease the stigma suggesting that rigorous training is required to achieve a healthy lifestyle, as well as to promote the 5x5x5 method to become more healthy. The focus of this campaign is to get individuals aged 30 to 50 years old who are quite busy to have 25 minutes of physical activity per day for at least 5 days of the week. The benefits of the Just Find 5 campaign is to improve the physical and mental health of our target audience. Exercise is found to have been a behavioral intervention for depression and has also been found that frequent exercise will decrease the likelihood of an individual passing away from heart complications. Another benefit of exercise is that exercise can reverse age-related memory loss by increasing the size of the hippocampus, as well as the benefits to oneself. Exercise, when acting as a transport method, can be beneficial for the environment as it reduces the amount of carbon and other pollution entering the atmosphere. As I briefly mentioned before, the age group that we are focusing on is 30 to 50-year-old individuals who are taking full-time work or have children. The reason why we chose this age group was that according to the ABS 2018 National Health Survey, only 15% of all 18 to 64-year-olds were meeting the 2014 physical activity guidelines. Furthermore, we narrowed the target market down, as it is during the ages of 25 to 60 that individuals typically undertake full-time work and are usually busy. Additionally, according to the ABS, the median age for mothers to give birth is 31, and for men to become fathers is 33. When segmenting our target based on behavioral characteristics, we were focusing on individuals who are distracted, busy, or rushed. When segmenting our target audience using the stages of change method, we found that our target audience was in the contemplation and the preparation and action stages. This was as individuals in the contemplation stage are wanting to do something about their improper behavior, in this case not exercising enough, but are not able to commit to having regular times to exercise. While in the preparation stage or action stage, they've tried going to the gym, but due to having a busy schedule, they haven't been able to form a routine in which they are able to gain the adequate amount of fitness required.
Hi, I'm Cyril Niveros. I will be discussing the objectives, goal, and positioning statement for this campaign. First off, the knowledge objective. Here we emphasize the importance of exercise. We indicate reducing the risk of illness and disease, primarily to be consistent with its risk increasing as parents grow old. With regards to social benefits, we suggest relationship building, given the opportunity to bond with family after work, during weekends, or when going out with friends. On top of that, the target audience can also meet like-minded people to form new connections. Such benefits help them realize the fulfillment that comes with exercise and ultimately find time to do it on a daily basis. There's also the environmental benefit that helps our target audience become more sustainable with consumption habits. The simple effort to walk going to work instead of riding a car should contribute in reducing carbon footprint. The same applies to goods packaged with plastic and the energy saved when leaving home to exercise in public. Moving on to the belief objective, the stigma that exercise requires effort to go to the gym is recognized. This notion hinders parents to plan their day and allocate time for physical activities. As a result, it becomes a trade-off to being busy at work and with children. The campaign aims to establish that exercise is achievable in the form of quality time and not out of reach in the comfort of one's home. The third and last objective is behavior. Here we refer to the guidelines provided by the Australian Department of Health. They advise a minimum of 150 minutes of physical activity for adults each week, which suggests a rough estimate of 25 minutes per day. To this end, we developed a behavior objective to meet the same amount as part of the target audience's daily routine. Aligned with the last objective, the SMART goal specifies our desired achievement rate from 43% to 60% in 5 years. This timeline is deemed realistic in terms of significant results on incidence rates for chronic diseases rooting from insufficient exercise. The positioning statement segments the target audience as working parents aged 30 to 50. This population is chosen knowing that they are still capable to make adjustments to their physical activities. A behavior-focused positioning strategy is proposed with a 25-minute behavior change in exercise. Also, a secondary target audience in the children and the elderly is identified. We figured that passing down the influence to lifestyle would be evident in future generations. Thus, the value proposition of parents living long enough to witness their influence, learnings, and habits being inherited in exchange of the competing desire and sedentary behaviors.
So as we know, product is made up of the core, actual, and augmented product. For us, the core product of Just Find 5 campaign are the health benefits, both physical and mental. We've already established what those are earlier in this presentation. The actual product is the 5x5x5 setup. So basically getting 5 minutes exercise 5 times per day. So 25 minutes of exercise per day, 5 days a week. And the augmented product, that includes follow-up and reminder text messages, an online metabolic equivalent task calculator, which basically the target audience can put in the different tasks and forms of exercise they did each day, and that will calculate essentially the energy they used or burnt that day, or within that time period that they said they did these exercises. And then also information about the positive effects of getting regular heart racing physical activity. So with price, we first need to establish the types of costs that are associated with daily heart racing physical activity. For this behavior change, we know that there are monetary costs. These include purchasing of equipment, purchasing of services, and memberships to sports clubs or buying participation into weekly sports competitions. There's also non-monetary costs. This includes time, which could be taken out of one's day to perform the exercise, for example, the effort taken to physically exert oneself, and importantly for our Just Fine 5 campaign, the stigma surrounding physical exercise, such as it can be difficult to do without proper equipment or support. Now, the pricing strategies we've used include decrease the perceived non-monetary costs of performing daily physical activity. So this would involve providing video examples of how the target audience can perform the 5x5x5 program. Then also we've used increase the perceived non-monetary benefits of performing daily physical activity, such as once we get the target audience to sign up to the campaign, they can pledge their involvement by submitting on social media or displaying on social media the fact that they have become part of this campaign. And then lastly, increase the non-monetary costs of being sedentary and inactive. So we use health experts to help showcase the negative health effects of living a sedentary lifestyle. So with place, we first need to establish where and when the target audience will perform daily heart-raising physical activity, and where in their day can they get 5 minutes of exercise 5 times a day. So this, as you can see here, we provided a range of examples for when the target audience could do this. This could be walking your children to and from school, walking to and from work during meetings, getting down and smashing out 5 minutes worth of push-ups when you have a moment. So a range of ideas here that we presented. Now the place strategies here, these not only assist with the behavior change of physical activity, but it's also helping with the associated services of our Just Fine 5 campaign. So the first one being make the location closer and more appealing. This strategy allows us to suggest alternatives to classic exercise ideas that people might have, such as joining the gym or a sports team. And a lot of these ideas we presented in the slide before this. The second strategy being work within existing distribution channels. So using social media, specifically Instagram and Facebook, as well as emails, to send out video ideas about how the target audience can get and utilize 5 minutes in their day to get some physical exercise, as well as provide information about the health benefits, both physical and mental, and then encouraging and forms of encouragement as well to try and get the target audience to use 5 minutes in their day, 5 times in their day, to perform physical activity. The third strategy is to extend the hours of service. So based on the target's individualized schedule, which they could put down on our campaign website, we can then have automated texts and emails sent to them at various points in their day when we know, based on the schedule they put in, they could be, for example, about to get on public transport to go to work in the morning, and we would send a text through saying, why don't you get off at the 2 train station stops earlier and then walk the rest of the way to get that 5 minutes of physical exercise as part of your day. The fourth strategy is be where the target audience spends their time, such as using train station and bus stops to place signage that sort of ask the question to the target audience about maybe getting off 1 or 2 stops earlier and walking the rest of the way to work or walking home. And the final strategy is overcoming the psychological barriers to being physically active. So the campaign website would focus on the idea of this 5x5x5 program can be conducted at anywhere, anytime, and by yourself or with friends, family, and colleagues. And this helps to lower or get rid of the stigma surrounding the amount of time and effort you need to get the recommended dose of physical exercise.
Our promotions will focus on the benefits of exercise, destigmatize exercise, particularly around the need for rigorous exercise and work inside companies to promote the 5x5x5 method. Additionally, a large part of our promotion will emphasize how achievable the 5x5x5 method is. As mentioned in the promotional section, Instagram will be one of the channels that will play an important role as a promotional feature, but also as an augmented product. Here, you can see examples of this with the Instagram page giving advice on what you could do for your 5 minutes, a 5-minute cardio section. It also gives a little bit of motivation through the little quotes, nice pictures, and also reaches out to businesses to try to get ways for the Just Find 5 campaign to reach as many individuals as possible. It also acts as a place to gather external resources not to do with Just Find 5, which would probably be really useful, like this one about getting back to exercising after being still for a little while. This is also seen a little bit later with this example over here, which focuses on parents getting that little bit of exercise when they can.